Welcome to PLUSone, the series where each month I look at the free games on PlayStation Plus and tell you if they're worth the download. After all, the games may be free, but your time is valuable. So, happy E3 everybody. As a surprise reveal to make up for having a stupid 20-minute intermission at the very start of their E3 conference, Sony added another game to June's PS Plus lineup, and that game is 2015's Call of Duty Black Ops 3. Arguably the biggest game to hit PS Plus in quite a long time, you already know the basics of what to expect here. An explosive campaign, a fast-paced multiplayer, and, of course, zombies. With Black Ops 4 on the horizon, is this COD worth your time and your hard drive space right now? Let's find out. First things first, I'm gonna brush over the narrative because there are two narratives to worry about here, and they both tie into previous games. In the campaign, you take control of yet another Black Ops squad, this time 50 years in the future. Robots and cybernetic super soldiers are the way of war now. But like your usual Call of Duty campaign, I'm sure you can expect twists, turns, action, betrayal, and of course, explosions. Having not played through a Call of Duty campaign since Modern Warfare 2, I think? Not counting the horrible Black Ops Declassified campaign on the Vita, I'm obviously very out of the loop with the theming and any sort of references in the Black Ops sub-series, and I'm not going to pretend that I know what I'm talking about here. I would argue that it doesn't really matter, because the sheer chaos that's cooked up throughout all of Black Ops 3 is pure fun. Same goes for the zombie mode's quote-unquote story. Since the first instance of zombies a decade ago, it's gotten tons of lore and little Easter eggs and some sort of hidden narrative that's interwoven between all of the Treyarch COD games. Before writing up this review, I checked with a buddy who's a huge zombies guy, like he literally buys Call of Duty just for zombies, to see if he could help me boil down the zombies plot, and he pretty much said don't worry about it, so I'm gonna go with that. If you're still playing zombies, odds are you're doing it because you enjoy the gameplay, not the story. Hell, the same goes for Call of Duty in general, so let's get right into that, the gameplay. Because this game takes place in the 2060s, a lot has been done to somehow speed up the already fast Call of Duty gameplay even more. There's a little jetpack for a double jump, the weapons often move into science fiction territory, there are even new specialist subclasses with neat little bonus weapons and abilities. Again, I haven't really played a COD in about a decade, so bear with me if any of this was in Advanced Warfare or something. All I know is that it's still Call of Duty no matter how many bells and whistles you add to it. If you've played any Call of Duty since Modern Warfare 2, generally you know what you're getting into, and odds are you already know how you feel about it. For me personally, Black Ops 3 made me forget that I'm not usually a Call of Duty guy because of these bells and whistles, but within an hour that faded and I went back to my usual meh. It certainly didn't help that the game takes a long time to find matches sometimes, if it even finds one at all. The game likes to get caught in a loop while checking out potential matches, and apparently this has been a persistent bug or something since the game's launch 3 years ago. It only hits certain players, it's independent of connection or NAT type, and from what I found online, there's no solution other than to hope you get lucky. That's pretty inexcusable. If you don't like the multiplayer, or if you can't get into a match, that still leaves the campaign and zombies modes. Treat the campaign like you treat most modern movies. Don't think too much, just sit back and enjoy yourself. The single-player COD endeavors are always a blast, even if one's not a fan of the multiplayer, and Black Ops 3 is no different. Well, okay, it's slightly different in that there's the option for 4-player co-op throughout the entire campaign, which is a very welcome addition. The game feels like it was built for both the solo and co-op options too, so no matter what, you're in for some fun. And then there's zombies, this time limited to only one map in the base game. This map is arguably the biggest and deepest of any launch map that Zombies has ever had though, yet again featuring the voices of Hollywood celebrities and also an alien creature thing. The gameplay in this mode gets rid of all of the futuristic powers and the double jumps and the robots and everything like that, instead going back to the past and quadrupling down on the formula that we know and love. Once you find every Easter egg and turn over every stone here though, your interest might wane a little bit. Zombies has sort of stopped being a last as long as you can endeavor and sort of shifted into survive to find every hidden goodie. It's certainly good for what it is, but I can't help but want more variety in my horde modes than one single map in a $60 game. To be fair, over the years they have added DLC that'll let you play the greatest hits from every Zombies game throughout the years, but it's pretty pricey, be warned. Visually it looks very good, these games have really benefited from those engine upgrades over the years. It sounds crisp too, again, it's what you'd expect from the reigning king of console shooters. That said, the loading times are pretty rough, even in multiplayer, and the game's going to cost you over 40 gigs if you download it. All those pretty new textures come at a cost after all. If you're a trophy hunter, expect to run yourself 100 hours to get the platinum here. Thankfully, there are only a handful of multiplayer ones, and they only end up being for progression, nothing based on getting specialty kills or something impossible like that. But again, 100 hours, you've been warned. Now for the big question. Should you +1 Black Ops 3 to your collection? It depends what you want. Do you want a great campaign to play alone or with friends? Do you want an engaging, addictive multiplayer that may sour on you once you get past the surface level? Do you want a co-op horde mode that expands in ways you may or may not have wanted? Because if you download this game, you're essentially getting 3 games made by seemingly different sub-teams within Treyarch that don't feel cohesive to one another. But who am I kidding, that's not what we're playing COD for anyway. If you like shooters, it's probably worth a download. If you don't like shooters, this one won't change your mind, even if you may enjoy the campaign with some friends. I would say add it to your library at the very least. Even if you're not a fan of Call of Duty, a free $40 game is still free. If you're watching this video after the game comes off of PS Plus, at this point I would say just wait for Black Ops 4 later this year. After all, the whole point of this one being free is to hype up the sequel. Are you going to give Black Ops 3 a download? Let me know down in the comments below, and while you're down there, make sure you like the video and subscribe for more.